I wanna be the very best,
like no one ever was. Doom, 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 doom.
to catch them is my real test.
To train them is my cause.
Pokemon! Welcome back, friends and family, to another nostalgic episode of the Back to the Basics show.
Woo!
My name is Josh,
And I'm Eddie.
and today we are diving head first into the wonderful world.
Of Pokemon.
I'm excited to talk about one of the greatest franchises to spawn from the 1990s.
Yeah, man. There's so much Pokemon in the world in the 90s.
From video games to trading cards to anime.
Woo!
It's too much nostalgia for one episode.
The 90s was lit with Pokemon. Pocket monsters, right?
Yes, sir. And before we jump into today's discussion, remember, if you want to support the show, if you want to give us some support, go ahead and jump over to social media and give us a follow, because we have a lot of new content up and coming just for you guys.
Yeah, man. All those likes, comments, subscriptions, right?
Oh, yeah.
All that matters. And we thank you for your time.
So I hope you went to the Pokemart. I hope you got some Pokeballs.
Ooh, stock up on those potions, paralyzed heals, and the escape ropes, right?
Because we're going on a journey.
Into the wonderful world of Pokemon. So like we said, welcome everybody to the world of Pokemon. Josh?
Kanto region. That's it.
Ooh. But before that, that's the end of the episode, man.
Yeah.
Before that,
What's up, dude?
what's your starter Pokemon, man? Tell
Starter
everybody right
Pokemon?
now. Yep, starter Pokemon.
What generation?
Kanto region.
So first generation.
First gen.
Only gen that matters.
You got the video game. Red game. Switched it on. First time. Red or blue. What Pokemon?
Squirtle. Squirtle Squad all day, baby. I'm a water type, man.
Like water.
Oh, yeah, man. Aquaman, no matter what. You throw me any
Oh,
water character.
geez.
Throw me any water character, I'm going to love it.
Okay.
It's Squirtle.
Yeah, because that was my one thing. I was like, well, what's your starter, man?
Yeah.
Of course, I already knew, but they got to know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I know you're a Bulbasaur type of guy.
Over here on this side, get out of here with that. Fuck Earth.
What?
No. It's all about the fire, man. I got the fire, the power.
Bulbasaur is grass type, not earth type. Okay, little
The
lizard.
fire.
Okay, little lizard.
Fire power.
Okay, little lizard.
Charmander, bro.
I like how you're a Charmander fan, but you don't like Charizard.
No, I really don't. I did when I was a kid, though.
Is that not weird?
Because it for me, it stops at Charmander. I've always been weird about evolutions. For some reason, when they evolve, they just kind of lose.
There's a lot of good evolutions out there.
There are.
But I do agree that the original
Yeah.
starters are better on their first form.
I was gonna say why you think Ash kept them as starters for so long, but then of course, fucking Charmander evolved into Charmeleon and then didn't listen worth shit. And
Well, I
evolved
think
into
the starters
Charizard.
are marketable. They're
They
definitely
are.
marketable
Yeah.
because they're cute.
Yeah,
And they are literally like the embodiment of pocket monsters.
Yeah, it's like Pikachu. Nobody wants to see Pikachu as Raichu.
Raichu's trash.
Nobody wants to see
Sorry.
Pikachu as Raichu.
Yeah.
It's all about Pikachu.
Sorry, all 7 Raichu fans out there. But
Right.
yeah, the starters are absolutely iconic, and something like Pokemon is it started in the 90s, right?
Ooh,
Late
90s, baby. Yeah.
and we had so many forms of Pokemon.
Well,
So
what came
many.
first, Josh?
The chicken or the egg?
What came first?
What came first, the Pikachu or the Raichu? What came
Oh
first?
God, the game, the anime, or the cards? Obviously, the cards came last, but which one came out first?
Oh, in America or Japan?
Red and green.
So as a kid, honestly, like, it is what came first, as a chicken or the egg, because
Yeah.
honestly, I just remember it all just hitting me like a tidal wave.
Yeah, it was all at the same time,
It
right?
was just all just.
And that's what I was trying to say earlier. I was trying to like pinpoint. I was like, wait, did I first experience Pokemon as a TV show, or was it the video game? And I was like, I remember my brother had red version, and then sometime later we got blue version. But I was like, I think it was because we were watching it on TV.
Yeah.
Every Saturday morning, every weekday.
I think it was weekdays at like 6 a.m.
Yeah,
it was always before school.
Super early. I remember just waking up, like I said, grabbing my bowl of cereal, watching Pokemon, and then I was ready for my day.
It was like the quintessential. Just it gives you everything, dude. It gives you a courage. It gives you adventure. It gives you heart. It gives you friendship. All before you set out on your day to school.
That theme song hits, and it's like, your whole day is lit. Man.
I'm gonna have to say it's probably one of the greatest theme songs of any anime or cartoon.
Yeah, I was talking about that earlier, and I was like, if I'm a guy who loves theme songs to TV shows, movies, whatever the theme song is, if it's a good theme song, I'm in love.
Yeah.
But Pokemon for me, man, it just sets the tone. It just gets it going. I want to be the very best. I want to catch them all.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it, man. That was Ash's thing. Ash Ketchum.
And I think what set like the whole pocket monsters, it was in the 90s. There were so many like franchises that was built around like collect them all. Right.
Catch them all.
Yeah. And it was so many different. And in the beginning, you had 151 different Pokemon.
Or more to see.
And
to be a Pokemon master.
Togepi.
Yeah.
But it was so many things to collect. And there was always a Pokemon for everybody.
Dude, yeah.
There's always a Pokemon for everybody.
Yeah. What's your favorite Pokemon? Let us know.
So you're going to say, and so that's weird that you have your favorite Pokemon as a starter.
Yeah, Charmander. When I was a kid, though, honestly, just like everybody, Pikachu. Everybody loves Pikachu. The whole show was about Pikachu. Pikachu and Ash, best friends.
I was always under the assumption of just like, why is Pikachu like being pushed if the starters? Because obviously I played Pokemon Red on Game Boy, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, Pikachu isn't highlighted in that, but obviously in the anime, in the cartoon, they had to give Ash basically like that friendship.
Yeah.
With obviously Pikachu.
Because he was late, man.
And
he didn't get to pick one of the starters.
If I'm not mistaken, I think it was Jigglypuff. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was runner-up that was going to be the main Pokemon.
Yeah.
I think it was Jigglypuff. It was between Pikachu and Jigglypuff.
Yeah.
Was going to be like
the
main mascot.
And then I think you sent me something like, there might have been like a pink version of the Pokemon games where it's like Jigglypuff on the cover.
I think that was
something.
like fan fiction, but
I don't know. That's kind of weird.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah.
A pink Pokemon Pink with Jigglypuff. That would have been so sick.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But throughout the decades, it's interesting how Pokemon has not gone away.
That's one of the things that is like centric in this episode. I think we wanted to like mention that is, even though we're grown men, we're 30 plus years old now, just to age us. 96, I guess, when the red and
96, 97, something like that.
Red and green game, something like that. But from then till now, here we are today, still talking about Pokemon. Charmander on my arm. Stuffed animal Squirtle behind you.
Pokemon has always been, when I was young, when my imagination was booming, there was always the rule of 3. For me, in my imagination, there was 3 out of all fantasy games and movies and cartoons and comics, 3 universes. There was always 3 universes that I always wished were real. And in my imagination, it was, I had to choose one, right?
Ooh.
It was like choosing a starter Pokemon.
Yeah.
And
it's funny because there's 3.
And in my world, the 3 fantasy realities that I always wanted to be able to choose from and be able to go into that and stay in that fantasy, like a Peter Pan.
Yeah.
Right? It was Pokemon, Dragon Ball, and Star Wars. And
that's cool.
My choice would always be Pokemon.
Yeah.
Is because Pokemon represented like so much wholesome, like love, and when you're into the story, it's about random people coming together as friends through an
unforeseen circumstances.
Yeah. So like these crazy circumstances brings people together, and they all go on a journey together, an adventure, and they journey. Right? It's an epic journey to get back to the basics.
Oh,
right.
Yes.
And one thing that I always took out of Pokemon was friendship.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. I mean, even Misty, who doesn't really want to be Ash's friend,
she despises Ash
because he stole her bike
and destroyed it
because of the Spearow.
Yeah.
And even her is like, hey, like, you owe me a bike, kid, and I'm going to stick with you until you bring me back my bike. But along the journey, they slowly start to form this bond, this friendship. And then as, he goes further and further, they meet Brock. And so now it's a team, a trio, and it is all encompassed by these Pokemon that are along the journey with them. Each time he catches a Pokemon for Ash, it's much like a new friend. And that's how he treats his Pokemon.
And it's crazy to see throughout his journey, people don't understand why his Pokemon are so strong.
Yeah.
Is because they leave out all the trainers. They leave out the most important piece of the puzzle of the relationship between the trainer and the Pokemon. Ash treats them with respect.
Respect, love,
like friendship. They're no different than a human being standing right in front of them.
As his partner, basically.
Yeah.
And I think that is very evident from the first episode.
Oh, yeah.
If you go back to the first episode of Pokemon, Ash and Pikachu are not friends.
The Indigo League, baby.
At all. Pikachu wants nothing to do with Ash.
Yeah.
And he decides to try to catch a Pidgey all on his own. Hits the bird on the head, and it turns out to be a Spearow. Which now Ash done fucked up. Because that Spearow calls his Spearow mommy and daddy, and the whole Spearows come.
Yeah.
And that creates that turn of events, that unfortunate thing.
And right there in the beginning, it shows you the dangers of the world of Pokemon.
Of Pokemon training.
This little kid was about to die because there was a flock of birds. He was about to die.
So you tell me he didn't?
Oh, no. We ain't getting dangerous this episode.
Dangerous.
We're not getting dangerous.
You telling me that Ash Ketchum did not die in the first episode of Pokemon?
Are you one of those weird conspiracy people that believe Ash Ketchum is dead and he's living in purgatory?
So why he see Ho-Oh at the end, just all glittering, flying by, first episode with the rainbow?
I think it's like, what, an angel or something? Ash is not.
Put it on me. Put it on me.
Ash is not dead. Okay.
I don't know, man.
But that's beautiful about Pokemon. And honestly, if you go into Pokemon theories on YouTube,
it's a deep rabbit hole.
Reddit or any website, you will be like, I never knew these theories existed.
Is there a great Pokemon war?
Oh my God. We just talking about theories now.
Theories come along with Pokemon. What is this great Pokemon war thing that I've heard so much about?
Honestly, I don't know too much about it. Apparently that like our modern day Pokemon world is a result of like a war, a giant war that happened
where human and Pokemon came together and fought a war? Or they fought a war against each other?
I don't even know, man. I honestly have never really given a lot of weight into that theory. I do like it.
It's an interesting story concept.
And it's like, what was it? It's like, is it not Team Rocket or something? But it's like, basically they're training children for the next great war. So they're teaching children at a young age on how to use Pokemon as a weapon to fight wars.
And so you brought up Team Rocket, which they do exactly that. Team Rocket's whole thing is using Pokemon for their benefit, for power, to get everything they want out of life. So Pokemon to them is much like a tool.
I mean, you have Pokemon, and what's interesting is in the newer Pokemon games, I don't know how far back it goes, but there is people who actually eat Pokemon. Because if you put Pokemon into a realistic world, these are animals, right?
Yeah.
We would probably classify them as animal life.
Yeah, you got pig Pokemon, you got cow Pokemon, you got lizard Pokemon.
And they speak different languages. Obviously, you have Meowth, obviously.
Yeah.
But
Meowth.
is there so much benefit, right? And if you put Pokemon in the real world, there would be what do you call that shit when people like hunt and
it's like game, like basically, right?
Yeah, but they take like the rhino husks and the elephant tusks.
Poachers.
Yeah, they're and even in the anime
Pokemon poachers.
There are poachers, right? You have the great Safari Zone.
That's why the endangered Pokemon.
The endangered Pokemon are in. And
so it's interesting.
And that's the way I've always viewed Pokemon is, like I said, in the real world realistic. With my imagination. And I would love to be in that world with these Pokemons surrounded you. There's, and it really is no different than animals.
Yeah.
But there's just something to the fantasy of Pokemon.
Of course. Yeah. They all have their elements, their powers, their abilities, right? Is what they're called, their moves. And they can only learn moves and abilities as they evolve, as they grow. But that takes time, effort, training, partnership. Certain Pokemon will only evolve
under certain circumstances,
like being pushed or being loved, or you got a Thunderstone, which makes them evolve.
Yeah.
So the world of Pokemon is very vast, right? There's more Pokemon now than there was when we were kids.
Oh, there's
like
so
you
many.
Said, there was only 151.
There's so many generations now.
52 if you count Mewtwo, or was 151 counting Mewtwo?
It's counting Mewtwo.
Yeah,
I
counting
think
Mewtwo,
Mew is
right?
not numbered.
No, he's
Could
150.
I be wrong?
He's 150, I think. And Mewtwo is 151. Correct us if we're wrong.
Yeah.
Feel free.
Yeah. So you talked about your favorite Pokemon.
Of course, yeah.
It is Charmander.
Char.
The episode of Charmander where Ash finds him.
It's one of the saddest episodes.
It's very sad. He is basically, and it's another thing is the anime of Pokemon, the story of Pokemon, puts these children in these real world scenarios where you have an abandoned Pokemon, a Pokemon that was only used as a tool for the trainer's own personal strength. And you can correlate that with this real world on how people use people.
Yeah.
To only boost themselves up.
Yep.
And then when they're no longer useful,
expendable,
they kick them to the side. And this Charmander wasn't as strong as this trainer wanted him to be, so he abandoned him.
Left him on a rock.
Was it a rock?
Yeah, it was like a little formation, like a little rock formation. He told him, "Stay there. I'll be back for you."
And never came back.
And never came back, dude. And Ash and Misty and Brock find the Charmander, and
about
it's
to die,
raining, and he has a little leaf over himself, trying to keep his flame lit because obviously Charmander dies if his flame goes out. And it's just a really sad moment in Pokemon where you're, for the first time, I think, about to see a Pokemon like almost die. And as a kid, you're just like, what? Life and death?
And the one thing that stuck with me, like when it comes to like the emotionality of Pokemon, growing up with it since its inception from the 90s and being a child into a teen, now an adult, and is one thing is, I had mentioned it in the Fox Kids episode, is a lot of cartoons from that time. It had to have some sort of moral code.
Yeah.
It taught the viewer
a lesson
or an experience.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you're probably going to go through this one day. This is how these people went through it and transcended above it of this situation.
So cool.
And Pokemon always did that.
Yeah.
There's so many life lessons you learn as a viewer. And that's something that has resonated through my personal life.
Yeah, man. And I will always go back to the scene where Ash stands up to the Spearow in the first episode, and he says, "I will not be defeated by the likes of you." Mm-hmm. And he stands up in front of Pikachu, protecting Pikachu, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Which Pikachu did not give a shit about Ash
until
that moment.
Yeah.
and Pikachu hops up. He's beaten.
Would you say Ash had the moment of basically self-sacrifice?
Self-sacrifice. He was going to die, take the brute of the Spearo's force, and he says, I'm Ash Ketchum from Pallet Town. I will catch every single one of you, Spearow.
Yeah.
And I will not be defeated by the like. So just that message right there to a little kid at the time is very impressionable.
Yeah.
Tells you everything you need to know about this character, how strong he is, what he's willing to give up. And even Pikachu sees that. Mm-hmm. Hops up on Ash's shoulders and protects Ash. And that's the bond.
Releases all his
bond
energy.
formed right there. And that scene always makes me emotional.
Yeah.
Every single time.
It's the beginning of friendship. They self-sacrifice for each other.
It's beautiful.
It's really good, and it's very well done. And going past the
music.
Oh, yeah.
And everything just lines up.
Past the anime. What was your experience with like the Game Boy games?
Dude.
Did you play it at school?
Yeah.
Did you trade Pokemon with people? That was the coolest thing.
I played at school, but I wasn't supposed to because I'm pretty sure it even happened. I ended up getting either my Game Boy stolen or lost. And my parents would always tell me, don't take your Game Boy to school. Like something's going to happen.
Little thieves.
Yeah. And it was probably either my brother's or my Game Boy. I don't know. I took it to school and what happened? Gone. There goes my Game Boy. I think it was it might have been the green lime Game Boy color.
Yeah.
With the red Pokemon Red.
Oof. Yeah, I've lost 2 Pokemon Reds over. I don't have my original games anymore.
No, me neither.
I've lost them.
So sad.
Yeah, it sucks. But being able to have a Game Boy was so legendary. Game Boy Color was so amazing.
Game Boy Pocket. Game Boy Color.
Taking your what was it, the link cable,
dude,
to school trade? And to be able to raise these Pokemon and to trade to your friend. Hey, I'll give you my Gengar or whatever, and. It was so ahead of its time. It was it was like trading cards.
Yeah.
It was something to trade and collect. It was like Pogs, right?
Oh.
And you can share and trade with your friends. It was just so amazing.
And it's so cool that you said Pogs and back then marbles was a really cool thing too. And people would collect and trade marbles. Yeah. And I think at one time I even had Pokemon marbles where it had Pokemon on the cover.
Yeah.
And like you said, it was just a time of trading, collecting, sharing with friends.
Yeah.
And so you could involve everybody. And that's something that Pokemon
and battling, though.
And battling, yes. Battling was always something that, dude, who's going to win? Me and my brother would battle all the time. I'm going to beat you. I'm going to beat you. So the whole thing was, for me, of course, I loved training the Pokemon. So then you could battle.
The sense of taking your best... and fighting a kid at school, battling a kid at school over link cables.
Yeah.
And if you lose, they get to choose
which Pokemon
that they want. And you have to trade it to them. Yeah. It was just like Pogs, right? I remember in elementary, dude, and just like marbles, if I beat you,
you got to give something
pick. Yeah, you got to give something up. I get to pick one of those that you brought into battle.
And that's how the trading card game eventually became as well.
You pick your opponents.
If you beat them, you get one of their cards, right? There's a trading card game. Or a lot of people would just be like, oh, yeah, I don't want this card. Do you want to trade for that one? Sometimes that would happen. I have something that they don't. Or
and off the cusp of Marvel trading cards.
Oh.
Right. As little kids, I think a lot of people.
Those flare cards, right?
Yeah, Marvel flare cards. Everyone kind of knows somebody who had basketball cards.
Yeah.
Baseball cards.
Yeah, collect
football
all
cards.
the baseball cards.
And then we had Marvel flare cards.
Yeah.
And so I felt I didn't really care about these baseball people and basketball people. I want Wolverine.
Yeah.
I want Mr. Sinister.
Collect
I want
all
Carnage.
those.
Yeah. And then you collect those, and then all of a sudden you have an anime that you're emotionally attached to. You have this digital format of a game, and then now we get to collect trading
physical cards
and battle.
It
was a physical way to take our Pokemon and our imagination to battle each other.
Yeah, the imagination that you need to bring that game to life.
Mm-hmm.
And trade and battle and everything that goes into it, collecting, okay, I need that certain energy card to be able to do this move. bro, it was so ahead of its time.
Well, it was basically the child's version of Magic the Gathering.
Yes.
Definitely is, obviously.
Which, if there was no Pokemon, maybe that wouldn't be where it is. I think they all kind of
help each other,
helped
lift
each other. Yeah, grow and become what they are today.
Well, still to this day, the Pokemon franchise is the highest grossing.
Yeah.
What is it, like media franchise
of all time?
Of all time. We're talking number one in the world from past fucking history of all time.
It's huge.
Huge. And you're only talking about one live action film.
Yeah. Live action.
One live action film.
Damn. I didn't think you were going to bring the films up.
Well, we got to talk about Pokemon Go. We got to talk about the live action.
There's so much.
There's so much to talk about.
Yeah.
Before we get into the film, we'll wrap it up with the film and our hopes going
How
forward.
about Pokemon Go and when it first started, dude?
It's huge.
Do you remember going out? It's huge. Do you remember going out by your old place and we all went out like we were Pokemon trainers?
We walked around the block
with
hit
our
up
phones.
The stops. What are they called?
Pokestops.
Pokestops.
Yeah. Walking around, eyes glued to the phone, catching Pokemon like 9-year-olds again, dude.
Pokemon Go hit very well. It's I know it's a lot better now. I don't use it.
Yeah.
I know you still use Pokemon Go.
Oh, yes. Pokemon Go. I still haven't
crazy.
even got to level 40 trainer, so it kind of sucked, but
I think I ended years ago on level. No, I probably was like level 20.
you gotta get back to it, man. Get back to the basics with Pokemon.
Pokemon Go, I think, though, is like the biggest app ever. Like the most downloads.
I feel, honestly, wasn't a lot of people on Pokemon. Like, I still was. And then that app came out, and I feel like it was the resurgence
of Pokemon,
at least in that medium.
It brought a lot of, like, normies.
New people
to Pokemon.
Yep. And now you have Pokemon cards coming out at McDonald's, and they're selling out, and people are making thousands and millions off of re-releases of the original Pokemon cards. 25th anniversary. I went out and bought a shit ton. But what I'm saying is you have so many people who now, probably because of that resurgence, who never knew about Pokemon, never cared about it, are going out and buying Pokemon cards because they found out that
it literally became like the like right in front of your face for everybody.
Yeah.
Through the app was the biggest downloaded app ever, and then through its live action, it took a lot of people that, oh yeah, I remember Pokemon from the 90s, or I outgrew that a long time ago. Well, shit, look how popular it is now. It never died. That's the thing, is it never died. It's just not you, but
some people,
the majority of people just forgot about it and moved on.
Yeah.
But Pokemon is only growing larger. It's still releasing its games. Now it's expanding more games. We're getting a freaking open world game.
Yeah.
Which I hope is good. It looks terrible, but
hopefully,
physically it looks terrible.
Hopefully. Some of the new games have tried to go back to the old style, but then they changed little things, and I'm like, you're losing me.
I still buy every single Pokemon
Of
game.
course. Yeah. There was a long time where I didn't, but I would still like watch the show and play the old games, and I think Pokemon Go helped me get back into like the newer generations. And then comes the live action. And I remember being so super hyped, super excited to go and see the live action.
Well, before the live action, back in the day, we had Pokemon 2000.
Ooh, the first Pokemon movie.
The first movie.
Dude, from TV show, trading card games, video games, to now a theatrical release.
I'll never forget, man,
movie.
to be able to watch Pokemon every day in your own bed, in your bedroom as a kid, and then to go to school and trade Pokemon cards and to battle people and on your Game Boy, to be able to go. And I remember there was a bunch of kids from school to go to the movie theater.
Yeah.
Pokemon is now at the movie theater?
It's so big. It's taking box offices, bro. Woo. Pokemon 2000.
And you got a promo card.
Oh, when you go to see the movie, right?
When you see the movie, you get a promo card. I think it was a Dragonite.
You got a Dragonite?
I think I got a Dragonite.
I want to say I got like a Mewtwo or a Mew. I want to say, but I don't know. It was so long ago.
I could be wrong.
What I do remember, because that was like, those were the two main characters in the new movie, right? Mew and Mewtwo. That was, I believe, like the first time they actually showed them. Because it was hinted for a long time.
Yeah, it was a build-up and a finale, basically, with the film. And it was all about Mewtwo.
Mew and Mewtwo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone references, it's a complete meme now, but basically Ash went to the fullest extent.
Dude.
Basically, all of his Pokemon, all of his best friends are turned to stone.
Yep.
And he is facing a giant, which is Mewtwo, but he's facing the most powerful
Pokemon
in the universe as far as he knows.
Because he's created.
In history.
Yeah.
And he straight throws a punch at him. I'm not going to allow you to win. And it basically goes back to that moment.
I will not be defeated by you.
Yeah.
Dude.
And he physically throws himself at him.
And Mewtwo, of course, stops him, right?
It doesn't phase him.
And the world cried, just like all those Pokemon cried, when Ash got turned to stone.
Yeah.
Ash is turned to stone.
He did everything he could.
And the sacrifice, of course, again, he sacrifices himself, brings all the Pokemon who literally weep for Ash.
Yeah.
And it brings him back to life. I'm done. It's beautiful. It brings him back to life.
Okay, Neo. Okay, Trinity.
I'm just saying, that's some good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's the power of emotion. The power of love.
Love.
And then friendship.
Friendship and self-sacrifice. Yeah, because Pikachu goes up to him. He's the first one to start crying. And then all the rest of the Pokemon
and
follow.
We're sitting in the damn theater as teenagers.
Everybody's like, oh,
this is too much. I thought we were going to get like...
Yeah, I came here for a good time.
Not to cry.
Yup. And it was something else, man. And Pokemon has done that. It always pulls on the heartstrings.
Yeah.
Because it's a real story about friendship and the power of love and sacrifice.
Going till today, there's been so many animated films.
Yeah.
We do have the live action, and we do have every 5 years or whatever, we get a new game-ish. And that's always fun to play, but...
Well, what you think about the live action? What are your thoughts on it?
Visually, great. Out of all the Pokemon games, out of all the Pokemon stories that there are out there,
yeah,
I'm a little disappointed that they went with Detective Pikachu.
I fully believe it's going to be one of many.
I feel...
This is where they're starting.
Yeah, when we're 80 years old, Eddie?
Well, then I'll be 80 in a movie theater crying over Ash Ketchum turning to stone. All right?
I will be there too. But, and I'll end with that too, because I want to mention that. But I just feel like there's so many games, and a lot of people don't know that Detective Pikachu is a video game.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a story.
You got a lot of games that people probably don't know about. Pokemon Snap, which is...
They're about to release a new one.
A re-release, a re-emergence.
Actually, I'm probably... I'm not a big fan of the Switch, right? I only buy specific Switch titles.
But you go buy it, right?
But I'm going to buy Snap.
I've never been a really big fan of taking photos of Pokemon. It's never been really my thing.
You got to get on the vibe.
But I did play it when it was on N64. I'm probably going to get this one.
Just
but my
for nostalgic reasons.
Of course. My games on N64, Pokemon-wise. Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2, bro. Mini games. Battling.
Just a few months ago.
Yeah.
On my birthday, we plugged in the 64.
And what that ass. Yeah.
Delusions of grandeur. Yeah, we plugged in the 64 and played Pokemon Stadium. I love Stadium, dude.
The Stadium is great.
It's so amazing. And it was so amazing at the time to be able to take your Game Boy game,
put it in the little cartridge connector thing
to the 64 controller, and actually play it, and not only play it on the TV through Pokemon Stadium, but to be able to take those
same Pokemon,
and register them to play on 64 bits on Nintendo. That was so amazing.
The same power levels. They know the same moves, so it's literally your Pokemon from that game transferred to a new game, and that was at the time
mind-blowing.
Yeah. And just the evolution of Pokemon from then till now. You have a lot of games, a lot of new things that come with Pokemon.
I wish they made a new stadium. With the entire catalog.
Don't tempt me. I will write Nintendo a letter.
They don't care.
Release Pokemon Stadium 3.
Hashtag release stadium.
Release the stadium. But honestly, yeah, man. Give me some Pokemon, more Pokemon games, of course, on the Switch or newer consoles or Pokemon Stadium 3. Yeah, I love it. Eat it up.
Yeah.
But does Pokemon still resonate with you the same way it did when you were a kid?
No.
Really?
Yes.
Why is that? There's some things that we never grow out of. You tell me you grew out of Pokemon?
I did not grow out of Pokemon. But
while wearing a Pokemon shirt?
But does it resonate the same? No.
That was my question.
When I was young, I had a plethora of friends to play the trading card game with.
Of course.
To pull out our Game Boy Colors or our Game Boys and play it.
We'll do that right now.
The thing is that's not there anymore.
Yeah.
So the only time I get to play Pokemon trading card game is with a very, very 3 different people, only a couple times out of the year on the PC. I play the trading card game. It's digital.
Yeah.
It's there. It's amazing. I think it's even on phones now.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. And I love the fact that I can go every once in a while to buy some Pokemon trading card game boosters. One of the best smells ever, by the way. Open that booster pack. Same thing with Magic the Gathering, but Pokemon has a specific nostalgic smell.
Card smells, man.
Smell of a new booster pack will take you back to the 90s.
We will literally open up these boxes that you got holding up the studio.
I got them
of
everywhere.
Pokemon cards, and we will play a Pokemon trading card game right now.
And I'll beat you. I think I might have to teach you the rules before you beat me.
We playing 90s rules only.
So, but it was there. It was always there.
100%.
It was always there. Now, obviously, it's a thing in the past. Only a few of my friends that actually still hold on to it and enjoy playing trading card game or like wanting to jump, like me and you, jump on Stadium.
Yeah, man.
We just jump on Stadium and play.
It's a trip back to time.
It hits every time. The announcer. Oh, critical hit!
I forgot about that.
Was it like he's charging up?
Yeah, I forgot about all of that.
But it was so high at such a high level. Yeah. Then obviously now I still love Pokemon, but the thing is I don't vibe with the new animation.
Yeah,
I don't vibe really with the new games.
Not so much.
They make them too easy. I like the old ones.
They're a little bit
more strategic, and you have to think more. The games now literally tell you what moves to use.
It just does it for you.
And I don't like that. Obviously, I know it's generated towards children.
Of course.
We're adults now, but it doesn't hit the way it used to. But am I still a Pokemon fanatic? Absolutely.
100.
Generation 1 is my favorite. I mean,
you tell me you didn't like Johto League?
No, I don't like any of them.
Gold and Silver?
I accept them.
Cyndaquil? Chikorita?
No.
Totodile?
No, dude. I'm a Gen 1 fanboy.
Cinda.
I'm very biased on Gen 1. Do I love everything? Yes. Do I accept everything? Yes.
Of course, it's Pokemon.
And when it came to the live action, am I happy it exists? Yes.
Heck yeah.
Do I enjoy it?
One of its kind.
Hell yeah. Does it visually look perfect? Yes.
And Ryan Reynolds didn't do that bad.
I'd go for Danny DeVito.
I knew he was going to bring it up. Yeah. Danny DeVito as Detective Pikachu. I honestly can't wait to see another live action, whether they choose to go back and do the original story with Ash Ketchum, and of course we've already seen it, but see it live action and see the animation, and maybe they do a Pokemon War. We don't know.
I can do that. I think they should really go with like a Red or Ash story. Yeah. Of the kid going through his journey to the Elite Four. I think it would be amazing. I just don't, and I think the reason why they didn't do that is I think that they believe that they can't put it at that level. Like they can't hit the mark.
It'd have to be really fast because he has to get all the badges. It just works better as a TV show.
And I guarantee you it wouldn't be a child. It'd be like a teen. They would be teens, right? And so they would have to adapt it a certain way.
Yeah. There's a lot of things you could do.
And I think, honestly, maybe just leave Pokemon Red and Blue alone.
Yeah,
leave Indigo League alone. Like I say, sometimes you wish for things and then you regret it, like
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z,
Oh.
Dragon Ball Evolution, right?
Yeah.
And I think that maybe if they would have ever made a Pokemon movie live action before this one, it would be equivalent to like a Dragon Ball Evolution.
You just need the right people who have the right idea, the right story, right?
Sometimes animation is just
Perfect
better.
actors. Yeah, and that's very true.
Unless it's like the new animation, then it's dog shit.
But there's so much more Pokemon that we could talk about. There's a lot of games and cartoons and everything that there's just way more Pokemon that we have time for.
You have it tattooed on your body.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Charmander. Char.
Right next to Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Superman.
Everything I love is right there.
And Star Wars.
It's just right there, man.
It's so good.
Yep. It's all wrapped up in one.
For you, though, we'll start wrapping up, but for you, does Pokemon still hit?
Oh, 100%. I honestly feel like I'm one of the biggest Pokemon fans I know because I will wear this shirt outside with this hat on the way to the dojo, go to the liquor store and just be like, yeah, Pokemon.
Yeah.
and I still watch the show. Every now and then I'll just turn it on and I'll just vibe with it, man.
Yeah.
And play the video games. And I'm still on, like, if I had a Game Boy, I would still be playing it, but I'll download it to my phone.
I need to get you
play
an
it on
emulator,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, and I've done it. I've done it. The emulators hit. So does Pokemon still resonate very strongly with me? 100%. It's on my body for a reason.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'll ever grow out of it. Like the saying goes, I'm a Toys R Us kid.
Yeah.
I ain't growing up, man.
And that's what I really wanted to end the episode with was things come and go.
Yes, sir.
But for us, here in this dojo,
in the dojo,
Pokemon is forever.
Oof.
And I know there's a lot of people out there to be like, dude, you guys are adults. Like, what are you doing? Like, Pokemon is childish. Like, I could see Dragon Ball because it's like kind of mature, but like Pokemon's for kids.
Dude.
It's like, well, guess what? We were kids.
Yeah.
When it first came out, we were 90s kids
Uh-huh.
absorbing Pokemon, and Pokemon will always hold a very, very high, if not the highest nostalgic memory.
It's deep in there, man. It's deep. It's implanted, embedded deep into, like I said, my whole personal being. Ever since I first heard, I want to be the very best that there ever was. That instilled into me my whole overarching life. In life, everyone wants to be the best.
If I've always felt that, like, one day, if I ever have a child, one of the greatest things that I could give to that child as far as like cartoons or entertainment would be the story of Ash Ketchum. Would be his plight, his adventure, and to learn about friends and to learn about society and right and wrong and good and evil and to go on your own adventure. Don't fall for of what the world puts, like confines you in, but go on your own adventure.
Yeah. Travel the world.
Yeah, defeat your own Elite Four. Mm-hmm. Collect your gym badges.
Pokemon badges.
And, and go on your own adventure and find your friends and find that what you call family and to, tell your own story.
And catch them all.
Yeah. And there's a meme I want to end with. It's been around the internet forever, and it's from the animated series, and it's a picture of a playground. Yeah. And it's two old men. Like one's sliding down a slide and one's playing, and it's a bunch of Pokemon, and it's two elderly men, and they're on a playground playing with Pokemon, just excited, bright sunny day, and I've always shared that on social media and be like, if I die when I'm 50, I'll die with the love of Pokemon. If I die when I'm 80 or 100 years old, the way I see Pokemon and the way it affects me, and the happiness it brings, and the idea of hope for the future, it will always be the same. Prepare for trouble.
and make it double.
To protect the world from devastation.
To unite all peoples within our nation.
To denounce the evils of truth and love.
To extend our reach to the stars above.
Josh,
Eddie,
back to the basics, blast off at the speed of light.
surrender now
Or prepare to fight. Dude, it's amazing, man. It was another fun time in the dojo, and I'm super excited for what's to come. But today we talked about Pokemon.
A super nostalgic episode. Pokemon, like we said in the episode, for us, something we grew up with and never grew out of.
And I think Pokemon will be there until the day we pass.
Till the end of time.
And remember, friends, until next time, stay nostalgic on that eternal quest.
To get back to the basics.